Okay, testing. 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. You guys ready to go? All right, then. Boom. Welcome to Forex.Today. It is a Friday, the best day of the week, because it's a trading day. Every day we can trade is the best day. All right, so it is Friday, the 26th of March. We're getting pretty close to April. Not too far away from non-farm payrolls. I guess 1 week would be precise. So thank you for being a subscriber. 3, 2, 1, hit it! So let me remind you that trading is risky. It's not appropriate for everyone. Maybe not for you. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Hello, my name is Wayne McDonald. I will be your guide on this journey we call Forex. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for leaving comments. Sorry, my allergies. Thank you for being part of this community, leaving comments, leaving your likes, but also just being involved and sharing your positive energy. Last night, everything was shut down. I couldn't trade the European session because there was a tornado right over my house. So power went out, trees went down, yada, yada, yada. But I'm all right, so it's all cool. So what can I do for you? Well, we are going to do some trade planning. We're going to take a look at what's today. We're going to look at next week, next month, that kind of stuff. But ultimately, I'll cover whatever you want me to cover. Make sure you click the like button and tell YouTube this is quality content. Make sure that you leave a comment also on the recordings so that you can document what you learned. Let me know what your key takeaways from today's webinar would be. And also, these live streams, they don't cost you money, but they do come with an obligation. And that is to visit tradersway.com, open up a demo account, and give them an opportunity to earn your loyalty and respect. That's all. That's it. Give Traders Way an opportunity to earn your loyalty and respect. Now, how will they do that? Fast execution speed, small fees, big swaps, world-class customer service. That's a good start, tradersway.com. Okay. So what's up? We had some dollar weakness earlier. That's good. We have some yen weakness. That's good. We have some Swissy weakness. That's good. Kiwi has recovered. Pound has recovered. Aussie has recovered. And CAD is still strong. Oh, really? Right? Really? That's good. This is not what we had yesterday, but exactly what we asked for yesterday. Interesting, huh? Interesting. Is this beginning? Could be. So we'll take a look we might have the sleepy giant waking up. Let's just start at the top here, do some commodities. My oh my WTI. Here's the line in which we said buying oil might be interesting. You mean this line? 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 Yeah, that line. That's a 1 minute chart, by the way. Very cool. We can switch this up, however, and take a look at it from, I don't know, let's do some day trading bullishly. And, ooh, my oh my, WTI. Check that out. There's today's buy zone. Here's today's target, 61.20. Cool. People are realizing the ship is still stuck. Now, we had somebody here that said, hey, man, I'm from Egypt and everything's cool. They got the boat out. Well, it's been days and the ship's still there. So I was wondering if that's Egyptian media. Not like American media is any better, but I thought, well, isn't that interesting if the local media is saying everything's cool, everything's good, and then, of course, the ship is still there and everything's not good. Just interesting. So anyways, the ship is not out, and they're like, wait, this is going to be till next week before we get this out. And things are going to get worse before they get better, and so maybe this is a recovery, or maybe, just maybe, we're making way too much out of it, and it's just a double bottom. Okay. Yeah, so sorry, Abel. Yeah, the tornadoes have something to do with such things, yes. Oh, that's interesting, Jim. Yeah, I should look at that. That'd be an interesting thing to see. All right. Okay, so Brent would be about the same. Let's do take a look at some Goldie. And we're sitting around waiting. Here's that short from earlier, if you were in a bearish scenario, if you recall. I'd like to be a bull on this. I know it's quite early for that, but the bullish buy zone, I'm estimating to be about here. Probably a little less than that. Probably here. Doesn't mean I'll buy here. I'd like to have it hit down here. Then I'd like to have it make a higher high, and then I'd like to have it maybe come back down to 1750. So I need this down to 17, up to 18, down to 1750, and then maybe I buy. Like a boss. Cool. And biddy, can't you see? Oh, look at that 618 that we created 3 weeks ago. Oh, for sure, eh? So anyways, we hit our 618. Are we on our way to 65? I don't know. You could have bought it at 50 and you'd be at 53 by now. Oh, for sure. Technically, you can see it's still very much bearish because this is resistance, this is resistance, this is resistance. So most likely this will be resistance. But as you can see, we already drew this many, many days ago. So it wouldn't be shocking if bear sold. Morning, Maida. Okay. Peter says 150 ships. I heard it's closer to 200 now, but whatever. That's just reporters standing and guessing. Okay, sitting around zippity czar, still not reacting yet. So we were at 15 yesterday. Now we're at 1508. So just sort of wait for it. So no green light yet. Peso's looking all right. I keep missing it by 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. But maybe there's still an op. Next week is the repatriation move, so that's good. Well, the issue with going around Africa is many of them don't have the food or the fuel. They didn't plan on doing it. Okay, very cool. Take a look at some dollar. So WTI going to sky? I never said that. I don't use language like that. All right, kitty cat, kitty cat, kitty cat. We're looking for our turn off the M4. It's doing something. Target for next week is still 24.05. So we'll see. It is not bearish yet, but we're hoping that this pink zone is a top and it brings it back around. Same thing with pound dollar, roll reversal. This is a sell, that's a sell, so maybe one of these work. Okay, if that's going to come around this way. Now, what we want, or what I want, is this to breach higher. So you'd have to plan for that. And of course, I never do anything that is considered a straight shot. So if it's going to go higher, it's not going to go straight through higher. So in that case, it would need to do down, up, down, up. Okay, cool. All right, so now has Kiwi woken up? Okay, has that woken up? Maybe. Yeah, could be. It might. That might be it. I don't know. It's very interesting around this 70. I haven't made a decision on if I'm going to take it or not, but let's look at it from a monthly point of view. And you'll see that that's the hardcore bearish target. By the way, just to confirm, okay, this is the top. And if you read my book, it says in that scenario, this is the projected bottom. Normally, we sell on the M3 and we go to an M1. In this case, it was a central pivot point. Therefore, the target is S2. How cool is that? Isn't that neat? So here we are. That's the projected target for the month. And we're only like, this is basically almost the last day of the month. So my question now is, even though this is very, very bearish, can I be a bull? Can I have the strength to be a bull? Or will I be presented the opportunity to be a bull? I'd like to be a bull, but that's not bullish. So you got to mark up your charts, of course, do your damn job. Okay, that's going to be an issue. And maybe like that. Okay, so I'll expand this out a little bit. Give me some breathing room, and we'll call it that. All right, so I'd like to get above that. And if so, green light project. Aussie, can't you see? Sometimes your trades just hypnotize me. Okay, so not quite bullish, but caught on one of my lines. So if it turns bullish, once again, I'll have the opportunity to maybe get long again. I got to take a look at this and treat it like a range. We talked a lot about when to treat market conditions as a range yesterday in the live trading group. Because in certain technical situations, you have to temper your enthusiasm. So like, for example, even if you're a bull in Aussie dollar, you can't treat it like it's bullish. You have to treat it like it's neutral. Okay. Okay. And maybe you can get your yen on. Here's the trade plan. What do you think? Hey, pretty good start. We did this yesterday. This is one of the examples of treating it like a range before the breakout. But this is yesterday in our group, in the swing trading group. Look how nicely that's set up, huh? BD. How nice. Lovely tulium. Okay. Very cool. So that's very hopeful. Euro yen. Oh, look, we trapped it. Once again, very hopeful. Okay, it's looking all right. Okay. Take a look at that Kiwi. Even Kiwi's trying. Once again, we have to trap it. Even if you're a bull, you can't play it like you're a bull because it's not bullish until we're above this zone. But we are at support, and look how nice that was. Okay. So now, because you're trapping it, you have to treat it like it's going to do this. But you're a bull, so you're really truly waiting for evidence of it doing, more of a breakout, and then you can get a little more aggressive and target this top, and then once you can breach that, now you're on the free and clear plan. Long and strong, down to get the pippin on. But you have to assume sideways first, and then break out, right? And then sideways again, and then break out, and then up. Okay, different, right? So now you can do it like this. Okay. So that's how I'd plan it if I were me. What do you think? Huh? Yeah? For sure, eh? For sure. And here we go. Here's another example. Pachow. Okay? Pachow. I would measure this out. I'd take this bottom. Okay? And I would take that top. I'd put it together. And I'd look for, once again, okay? See how it goes rangy and then breaks out, and then rangy like this and some sort of breakout. Okay. So this is sort of the example of sideways to up, sideways to up, sideways to up. Okay. Once again, sideways to up, sideways to up, sideways to up. That's how bulls would treat that. Okay. Which means they're going to buy just off the bottom, just off the bottom. Okay, so now it needs to come around and fart around, and you'll either buy it here or here. Okay, just off the bottom. Okay. Very cool, right? So now what we've been asking is there going to be a rotation from yen weakness to dollar weakness. Right now, yen is leading the way again. Okay, even though we've had brutally strong yen for a little bit, and right when we expected, so since the 17th. So for about 9 days, we've had brutal yen strength, but we expected it. We also expect by the 1st that yen strength will generally dissipate. And, well, we'll see. Rookie says pound yen moves the most. Yes, it's called the beast. Yes. Okay. Okay. But if you're a swing trader, it's not complicated. You buy it. That's why I like swing trading. You're like, what's the plan? Oh, you buy it on them too. You mean 150? Yeah. So you most likely longed it 100 pips ago. Yeah, it's called a front run. Oh, for sure. For sure. Okay. So you could be long since 49 and we're at 51. Yeah. So I would break this down into more digestible pieces. You can look at it from a swing trading point of view, and you're going to say, I don't really like that. I get it. We're in that weird time frame. So you might just be day trading it, right? So you go day trading bullish bias, and you're picking your lines this way. Okay. Buy zone off the double bottom. Okay. And in fact, let me break this down into even more digestible pieces, right? So you're looking to buy these dips on a day, right? So let's do the clear. Okay. Here's a buy, up, 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 down, buy, up, 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 down, down, buy, because you're buying this, you're front running, right? Right. So we'll see. You know the loon. So let's go back to swing trading. So you go swing trading bullish. And what does this say? It says from 151 back down to 150 and then up to 53. Okay. So if we're here on Sunday afternoon, if you were a swing trading bull, you would consider buying it. Okay. Now you might say, well, Wayne, that's technically bearish still. Yeah, I know, but you have to realize this was technically bullish, but our assumption was on or near the 17th of March, the yen could get strong. Oh, it did get strong. And then by the end of March, okay, the yen will weaken again. And this is the 25th. Okay. So if you buy a dip, you're playing that assumption. Okay. You're not playing the charts. Okay. Nothing on this chart said this was going to happen. But we talked about it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks that around the March 17th period, that something like that could likely happen. Oh, boom, it happened. Okay. So I'm not talking about what's on the charts. So that's what I would do. Okay. Now, I think the weakness in yen will moderate, and I'm hoping to see more weakness in the dollar. Emmanuel says, I made 80 pips buying pound yen. And that's a very, very mediocre trade for pound yen. Like, you can get lucky and make 100 pips. And you can get unlucky and lose 100 pips. Like 80 pips on a pound yen is really just not that much. So, I mean, I'm glad you got it, but you can't compare it to like euro dollar. 80 pips on euro dollar is much more difficult than 80 pips on pound yen. Okay. But it's a good start, right, Emmanuel? It's a good start. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good start. But that means you're long around 51. I mean, 50. Yeah, so that's all right. Depends on how you did it. Because we know there's much more to trading than just a price. So it really depends. Like, for example, let me give you the same price. Okay? A and B are the same price. A is not a good trade. B is a good trade. So, like, if you bought right there, that could be quite foolish. If you bought the retracement and had it drop almost 45 pips for you to buy it near the psych level, that's a good trade. Okay. Because bulls never buy at resistance. So depending on what side of that line you're at, that you bought it, right? So like a bull would have bought here, a bull would have bought here. Okay. So this move here, double bottom, bullish. Okay. Higher high, higher low, bullish. Higher high, roll reversal, bullish. Okay? Here, stupid trade. Here, excellent trade. Same amount of pips, significantly less risk. This is significantly riskier than this. Significantly. So it all depends, right? So Emmanuel, I hope you did this one. Breakout, pullback. And again, for a lot of people, they're like, well, that's just a quick little pullback. Well, you probably had to wait 8 hours for it. And it was pretty close to a 50 pip pullback. So I would argue, no, it's not a quick little trade. Okay, this is good. This is crappy. Oh, you want to do pound yen on? You want to do beast on the daily? Sure. Okay. What are you looking for? If you're bringing it down, that's what you would do, right? So if you're going to bring it down, we're getting pretty close to a teardown point. So we're on the 618. We got a weekly there. You would have it set up differently, and you'll see that we're right in the sell zone. So let's do swing trading bearish bias. Okay, now I have to zoom back in. And you see you're right on the zone, and then right on the zone, and then you're right in a fib. So yeah, if you're going to take it down, this 151 is pretty much the only plan you got. And you could treat it like a double top. I mean, look, you can play it like a double top, but that's not nearly as good of a trade. So if you play it off the double top, you almost have to trap it. Okay. You got it? So Uche, if you're going to tear it down, that would be the way you do it. The target would be the future 55. So let's do that. Insert indicator, custom, zero lag EMA. We'll make it 55. We'll shift it 4. Change the color to blue. It's not the right blue. Medium blue. All right, to medium blue. And we'll do it like this. Okay. What does this show you? That we're already on the future 55, and that this chart on the daily predicts a lower high double top. Okay. Electrical futures, but not like a futures market, but there's probably something. Yeah, there's probably something, but probably not sort of in the general financials market. But there's probably something for energy companies, right? I'm thinking of like, there's a carbon capture market, but we don't trade it. But there might be something. But yeah, I don't know. Yes, Uche. In sooth, I know not why I am so sad. Yeah, new mic. Yeah, I'm just thinking that it's a private market. Like they might privately enter into a hedge with maybe a hedge fund or something. Um, yeah. Cool. Any questions about that? The pound yen has dropped through the, well, which 55? Oh, the 4 hour. Okay. So we can look at that. Okay. So what's more interesting is it's reset off the 200. It's breached the moving averages. And this says it's going to climb up. But of course, on this time frame, up only means to here. And then the higher time frame says we're coming back down to here. Right? Daniel says, Wayne, what do you think is the required skill necessary to join the FX Bootcamp professional track that you're already a successful trader? Yeah, Guy, I don't think that quite exists. Yeah, you want a publicly traded future. Uh, Probably not there. Richard says personal income dropped by 7.1. Yeah, well, the issue is last year, a lot of people lost their jobs. Okay. Cool. So remember, what we're trading here is not today. We're trading 6 to 12 months in advance. Okay. So that's like going back to the pound yen. That's what the charts say, but right? But I'm trading ahead of the charts. Okay. But do you see how the future 21 EMA, or sorry, the future 55 EMA worked like a charm? It's hinting that that's your buy zone. You get it? Now, typically, based on pure technical analysis, this is what it tells you. Okay? But you might be front running something that you've done based on fundamentals, and your fundamentals say, Okay, well, then you got to get your game on. Oh, is it on ice? Right on, Jim. Thank you. Sangam says, why don't you use fib extensions? I do. So you have to understand. So Sangam, you must be fairly new. If I use Fibonacci upside down, I'm self-taught. I've been trading for so long, there was no information on how to use Fibonacci studies. Okay. And the way I thought it was, the way that I looked at it, I thought it was stupid that you'd have to use the tool one way to measure retracements, and then you'd have to draw the study again to measure the extensions. And I'm like, that's stupid. I'm an entrepreneur, right? So I immediately want to break the rules and find a better way. So I'm like, drawing a fib to study the retracement, then drawing it again to do the extensions. That's just a waste of time. So what I did is I ended up drawing my Fibonacci upside down. so that I can get my retracements and my extensions at the same time. Now, I have to tweak my fibs to do it, and that's sort of the entrepreneurial spirit of what I do. So let's take a look. I go to the properties, and because the study is upside down, to get a 786, you see how it says 786? And let me zoom in a little more so you guys can see it. Oh, that's probably too much. Okay. So to get the 786, if my fib is upside down, I have to do 100 minus 78.6, which is 21.4. So let me go back to this. So I go to Fibo properties and I say, draw the level of 0.214, but then on the chart, write it as 78.6%. So even though this says 78.6%, the description, it's actually calculated by 0.214. The next one is 0.382, but it's upside down. So 100 minus 382 is 618. So I say, well, draw the 382, but label it 618. 50% is 50%, no matter which way you look at it. And then to get the 382, because it's upside down, you have to do 100% minus 38.2%, you get 0.618. So I'm telling the study, draw 0.618, but label it 382. And then 1618, 2618, so on and so forth. There's a 382, 300% strong. Okay. So the way I draw the fibs might even be upside down to you. Okay. But remember, nobody taught me how to trade. There were no books. There was nothing. So this is how I do it. And I have a retracement and an extension. So I look at this and I say peak, valley, retracement, 618 predicts a 1382. There's my target. And I do it all in one study. And I go, Okay. 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 But it's weird, right? Yeah, well, I'm self-taught. Do you want a guru taught by a guru who I taught how to trade, or do you just want to learn from me? Well, I'll do something quirky, but I'm self-taught, so a few things are quirky. But who taught me how to trade then? The market taught me how to trade. I spent like a ridiculous level of testing, not back testing, testing, and learning and observing and thinking. And the market very quickly, well, not very quickly, over time, the market told me what worked and what didn't, what I needed, what I didn't need. And so therefore, a few things I do are a bit quirky, but I didn't read how to do it in a book. I didn't go to a guru seminar. The very first Forex Trading Expo, Forex Trading Conference I ever went to, I was a keynote speaker. So there you go. So I'm going to do something unusual, but I know it works. Okay. Okay. Strange. La 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 la. Pa, 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 bum, bum, bum. Any questions? There you go, unorthodox. I do it in an unorthodox fashion. Well, Uche, if you were hanging with me, let's say a month ago, I said somewhere in the month of March, the yen will get very strong. And by the end of March, so like the closer we are to April 1st, that yen strength will dissipate and it'll become yen weakness again. But it won't be as weak as it has been, at least traditionally. Okay, think about it, guys. Right? In the middle of February, I said somewhere between February 15th and March 15th, the yen will get strong. But by the end of March, the yen will be weak again. Then we picked out March 17th, a Fed day, as being a key point in that cycle. Well, it just turns out it was March 17th, and the yen strengthened for 9 days straight. And now we're tiptoeing very, very, very close. I mean, next week is April. So we expected by the middle of March, the yen would be strong. And by the end of the March, the yen would be weak again. And here we are, the last trading day, right, of the second last week. And now it's weak again. So it's just, you're either ready, willing, and able, or you're not ready, willing, and able. Okay? And these are clear buy zones, guys. Do you know why this is green? Because it's a buy zone. Like, yeah. Oh, faux show. Right? Oh, for show. Oh, for show. This is, I'm just showing you guys price action. So you can see we broke out of the downtrend actually, I guess, Monday. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Yen. Yen is strong. When I say yen, I mean yen. So yen pairs down. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I don't know what else to talk about. Ba, 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 ba. Right? I mean, I talked about, I covered trade setups for 4 hours yesterday. You know, like, I don't know what else to talk about today. Everything's been planned out already, right? Carry trading. Well, we don't have proper carries. So the only carry I got is this Rand. Well, Daniel says, can you talk about tax deductions as a Forex trader? Well, it's different in every country, right? So I can tell you in the United States, you don't want to be a trader like you say it. You want to be a business, right? Right? You want to be business. So I don't pay taxes per se as a trader. I pay taxes as a permanent resident / citizen because I file jointly with my wife, but my business also pays taxes. Okay. It's more of an issue of being a business and having trader tax status and such. But it is quite good. Guy, I didn't upload the video because we were struck by tornadoes. So I'll get to it after the webinar. Okay. So just think about it that way. You want to be a business. And it really is exceptional. So I don't know like what you want me to say about it. But a business is a business and it has write-offs. One of the things I've talked about in the past is it's really fantastic. Well, first of all, when you buy trading computers and trading screens and stuff, those are all tax write-offs, right? If I host a trading event somewhere and you have to fly and stay in a hotel and pay for a ticket, those are tax write-offs. Those are business expenses. But how would you like to be guaranteed? I guess you can't say guaranteed. How would you like to have an opportunity to make, let's say, a bare minimum of $1 million? Okay. And it has nothing to do with trading. It's indirect to your Forex trading, right? So my business, okay, takes, right? My business pays taxes. So there's business and taxes. And in the middle of that, before I pay taxes, my business, not me, before my business pays taxes, it puts $3,000 a month into a trading account for me, but a retirement account. And I can direct it. So basically all I can really do with it is buy mutual funds, buy the S&P 500. But here's the thing. The business makes money. The business pays off expenses, right? So you can look at that as a net operating income. And then you can take that, and from that, you put $3,000 per month into a retirement account that compounds at 8% a year. Okay? So it's $36,000 now per year, compounding at 8%. Okay? But it's before I pay taxes. So I was going to pay 30 or 40% taxes on the 3K, but now I get the money, right? The money goes in there tax-free. I pay tax later when I'm 65. Okay? But I don't pay tax now. Now the thing is, I basically save that $12,000, right? 33% of the 36. So I save $12,000 right away. I make $1,000 a month right away, but it's compounding at 8%. Okay? Now that's 1 year. So if you just started now, in year one, 36 growing at 8%. And then year two, 36 growing at 8%. Okay? For let's say 20 years. And then year three, right? And this is 19 years. And year three, 36,000 compounding at 8% for 18 years. Okay? 4, 36,000 compounding at 8% per year for 17 years, right? You add all this up and it's a boatload of money. Boatload. Millions. And it's just part of my tax strategy because I'm a business. My business is very generous to me. Okay. Now, meanwhile, right, Daniel, I got that all set aside. But then after that, it goes business, retirement, corporate retirement, taxes, right? And then what? Well, it's a pass-through, so my taxes are deferred again. And now I take my money and I put money into retirement. But Okay. We'll call this LLC retirement. This is personal retirement. So I put more into mutual funds. Okay. Plus I own a house. So there's write-offs there. Okay. Plus I have a college savings fund. Okay. All giving me tax write-offs, all deferring, right? And at the very end, I pay a little bit of taxes. Okay. Pre-tax, 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 pre-tax. So at the end of the day, I don't pay very many taxes. But I own a house. I own mutual funds, and my kids own mutual funds through me. I own my house. I own mutual funds in S&P 500 through my retirement account. I own S&P 500 and mutual funds and individual stocks that I choose as part of my corporate retirement account. And then, of course, you get tax write-offs on your business because you make money, but then you write off your computer, you write off your home office if you want, you write off travel and other business expenses, newspaper subscriptions, and all this kind of stuff. So you reduce your taxes, 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 and at the end of it, I pay taxes. And from this, like I said, there are times when I've overpaid my taxes by $100,000. So I got a $100,000 rebate. After the tax write-off, after the tax write-off, after the tax write-off, after the tax write-off, after the tax write-off. Okay? So it's more of an issue of being a business as a full-time trader. And then, of course, losses are treated fabulously as well as a business. Okay? As a business, losses are okay. You can write it off against those other things. But losses as a person, not good. Okay. So anyways, you want to be a business. Well, so there's Akintunde says 36,000 doubles to 72 every 9 years. Okay. But then it doubles again. Because I said for 20 years, right? So with money I would have paid taxes on, every year I make about $150,000. Okay? So if I started this year, I make $150,000. Now I don't get the $150,000 until I'm 65. So I make $150,000 there. And then the second one I probably make $144,000. And then the third year I probably make $140,000 because there's less time, right? And year 4 I have, right? So I don't know how you want to plan it. Like, are you going to live, if you retire at 65, are you going to die at 85? Well, then in the early years, you have $150,000 in cash, and then a year you can live on. Year 2, you have $144,000 you can live on. Year 3, you have $140,000. The interesting thing is it reverses. The older you get, the more expensive you are because you need a lot of medical care. So you might want to plan this differently. Plus, the government gives you, I don't know, I have no idea what the government gives you, $2,000 a month. Okay. So, so in this one particular year, right? What is it? You're going to have to live on less than $13,000 a month. What percentage of America do you think lives in retirement on $13,000 a month? Because they have to live frugally. Okay. Right. So it's 3 million, right, Daniel? You get my point? And all I did was I was smart with my money. I would see, here's the thing. Put it this way, Daniel. If I didn't do this, if I just paid my taxes, I threw away $3 million. So it pays to be smart. Okay. By the way, I heard a story where somebody rented one of the largest mansions in Mayfair, London. Okay. But he didn't buy it. He leased it. And so a reporter asked him, he said, "Why did you lease this place? It's like a palace. Why would you lease it?" And he said, "Well, taxes went up for foreigners investing into London real estate. So I wanted to be frugal." He spends $10,000 a day on this property in Mayfair. $10,000 a day. And he's doing it to be frugal. I love it. I just love it. And I believe it's 10,000 pounds a day. 10,000 pounds a day. And he's doing it to be frugal because he's modest. I thought that was pretty cool. And he was dead serious about it too. Well, he's like, look at the taxes. I'd be killed if I paid for it. If I bought it, I'd be crushed. So, I took the cheap route. So anyways, it doesn't hurt to be smart. The cool thing about money is you can buy smart people with it. So you sit down with an attorney, a tax attorney, and you're like, "You're smart. Help me make more money." Okay. So anyways, that's one way I'm going to have millions as an old man. Okay. Cool though, right? By the way, that's just one of those accounts. Do you understand that? Just one account I'm putting aside will be worth at least $3 million to me as an old man. But then I have multiple other accounts doing essentially the same thing. I'm taking money that would have gone to the tax man, but I pay myself first. Okay. Now, also to be clear, as I spend the $3 million when I'm 65 and a half, I think I have to wait. As I spend the money then they tax me. So you know it's going to happen. And they probably did the math. They get the $3,000 back. Isn't that funny? Because if you do the math, you're like, okay, 33% on $12,000 a month, right? Or 25% on $12,000 a month. You're like, wait, that's the $3,000. The $3,000 I didn't pay taxes on, I would have paid it in taxes. They come back when I'm 65 and they're like, give us that $3,000. I'm like, okay, there's your $3,000. But the rest of the money is free. Well, taxes in the United States for poor people are way over 50% because of the percentage of their income that they spend. The official tax rate, I think most people pay, 40%. But of course, wealthier people own. They don't have any cash. They own things, right? They have concerns. They have assets. And assets are businesses, whether it's a trust or an LLC or partnership, whatever. They own things. And those things have very favorable tax laws. You get to write things off. You get to defer taxes. For example, you buy, let's say you're a billionaire. So you buy a $100 million skyscraper, the best skyscraper in the world. It's fully rented for 50 years in advance. And you're collecting all this money from rent. And meanwhile, the building's not getting cheaper, right? The value of the property goes up. Great. Why? Because it's fully rented. It's right. But the cool thing about real estate in the United States is you can say, hey, government, my building's going to depreciate. And there's a formula for it. And the government says, okay, it's going to depreciate, and in 18 years, it will be worthless. How many people here think a brand new skyscraper will be worthless in 18 years because it's depreciated into a broken down, worthless piece of garbage? How often does that happen? Has it ever happened? So check this out. When you sell the building, so you bought it for $100 million, now you sell it for $200 million. Okay, you're going to have to pay money on the profit, but then the government says, whoa, 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 whoa. You were able to depreciate this thing by $8 million a year or whatever it was, right? $6 million a year over 18 years. They're like, hey, you told us it was losing value because it was rusting and falling apart. They're like, that's not true because you sold it and doubled your money. So how did it depreciate? It actually went up by 100%. It didn't go down by 100%. So you owe us those deferred taxes. You see? The government's like, oh, snap, it didn't depreciate at all. So all that money you depreciated, we need all that back, plus we want 30% of all the profits you just made. Well, you just made a $100 million profit, so they want $30 million there, but you wrote off $6 million, let's say, over the course of or $5 million over the course of a decade and a half. So they're like, give us that back. Here's the problem. It's more money than what you actually made. So you just sold a building. You bought a building for $100 million, depreciated it, then sold it for $200 million, but then you have to pay your taxes and then pay your back taxes. And all of a sudden, you sold the building for $200 million, but you owe the government $20 million in back taxes. So what do you think happens? How many people sell their building knowing that they're going to have a $20 million tax bill and no profit? Well, nobody sells it. So the government came up with this great idea called an exchange where you can just kind of trade it with somebody else. You can trade it. You don't really sell it. You trade it with somebody else. And it's really interesting, right? So you defer the taxes, and now let's say instead of selling your building for $200 million, you trade it with someone, and now you own a $200 million building, and you start depreciating that building. And then time goes by, and you trade the $200 million building for a $500 million building, still depreciating that. Now, here's the real awesome thing. You owe, let's say, $20 million in back taxes on the first building. You owe $40 million in deferred taxes on the second building, and you owe $80 million in taxes on the third building. But now you're so old, right? So I don't know what that added up to, but let's say now you have deferred taxes through depreciation by $120 million. What do I mean by deferred, or what does it mean to be depreciated? It means you didn't pay the government $120 million in those taxes. You paid yourself. So over the life, through depreciation, you paid yourself $120 million. Okay? And of course, all of this is leveraged because your banks are the ones that own it, right? So here's the thing. If you sold the building, you would owe the profit on the building plus the $120 million in back taxes. Of course, you're not going to ever do that. But now, guess what? The day you die, and of course you own this asset, okay, and you probably have it in a trust or something, and it says, when you die, your children will inherit this money, this asset. And part of owning the asset was you collected $120 million that you paid yourself to buy a yacht or buy a mansion or fly around in a private jet. So instead of paying your taxes, you lived a billionaire lifestyle. But what happens when you die? How much do your children pay in taxes? That $120 million tax bill goes to zero. You died, but now your children own the buildings, and they wipe off the deferred tax bill that you collected over a lifetime of depreciating an asset that actually went up in value. So you get paid on the rent, you get paid on the depreciation, and you get paid on the capital appreciation. Appreciation, depreciation, and rent. And then when you die, your inheritance, the asset, goes to your children, and they pay, and the tax bill is written off, gone, zero. Nobody owes the $120 million. Oh, America! America! I love this country! Yeah, it's awesome. So why don't you do that? Okay? There's no law in America that says you can't do that. The law says you can do this, so whoever chooses to do it will benefit. So this is why the media will tell you Trump is dead broke, but look at his Bentley. Look at his, $100 million apartment in New York City. Look at his private jets. Look at all the hotels around the world. He's dead broke, but when he flies in his private jet, lands in Scotland and says, hey, I own Turnberry, it's like a really cool dead broke. But you have to understand, okay? You have to understand everyone with money is dead broke, right? Rich or wealthy people, they don't have cash. They own businesses. So Trump flies around in a private jet, lands on one of the 50 or 100 hotels that he owns, and he's like, yeah, he's dead broke. You're right. He pays no taxes because he doesn't make any money. Money's for poor people. He has no money. He lives in Mar-a-Lago. He has no money. Flies giant jets. Has no money. Owns 50 hotels, has no money, has a $100 million apartment, but he has no money. Well, who the hell wants money? Money is worthless. So it's really funny how the media will spin it. If someone has a lot of money, they're not doing it right. Okay? So think of someone that hoards cash under their bed. Generally, they're poor. Okay. Cool. So as soon as you have cash, buy an asset. Okay. $3,000 a month in cash goes to buying assets. And now I have no cash. Right? So money goes to an account. You have to understand that. Literally, money comes out automatically from my business to the retirement account. Now the retirement account has money, and then that needs to be converted into an asset. I need to get rid of the cash, and I need to buy an asset. I need to get rid of the cash. I don't want money, but I want to own assets that will appreciate in value and maybe pay me a dividend. Okay? So that's how the world works. So I might have no money, right? And hopefully you get to that point one day when someone says, well, you should buy this thing. And you're like, well, I don't have any money. They're like, you don't have any money. You're rich. You're like, well, I own a big house and I own a big retirement account and I own this stuff, but I don't have any money. I can't afford $1,000 TV. Where do I get that? I don't have any money. I'm worth millions, but I don't have any money, right? You want to be in that situation. You don't want to buy a TV because you have enough money to buy a TV. You want to be dead broke. You're like, man, I would really like to buy that TV, but I'm dead broke. All my money goes to retirement. All my money goes for my college kid savings account, right? All my money is locked up in assets. All my money goes to my mortgage to pay down my mortgage. But I can't afford a TV. That kind of idea. Andrew says, Yellen wants to tax capital gains. Well, they do tax capital gains now. I don't know. If you have money, you buy a citizenship in Hong Kong and you invest there and you don't pay capital gains. So the world's your oyster. All right, cool. So that's that. All right, so we talked philosophically. We did all the dollar pairs, all the yen pairs, all the exotics, commodities. Seems like that was a pretty decent Friday morning. Looks like this is the beginning of the rest of our lives, so that's awesome. Have a wonderful weekend. I'd like to thank you for being a member of our community. I'd like to thank Traders Way for also being part of our community. If you liked today's stream, click the like button. At least click the like button. 1/3 of you have clicked the like button. 2/3 have not. The next thing is, hey, show some love to Traders Way. Just open up a demo account and as a way of saying, hey, man, this is awesome. I like that Wayne's here every single day. He's helping me out. That's one way of doing it. Okay. And of course, if you want to learn how to trade like I do beyond in these free videos, fxbootcamp.com. That's where you start. And then after you are skilled by watching videos, then you can join one of my live groups. The first step is to join the swing trading group. The second step is to join my portfolio manager group. But that'll take you a while. So if you need resources, they're there. You're not the first one to be blazing this trail. There are tens of thousands of people before you that said, Wayne, can you write a book? Wayne, can you do a video? Wayne, can you do a live course? Wayne, can you speak publicly? Wayne, can you be on TV? Wayne, can you write articles? Yeah, that's all been done many, many, many times over. So if you need help, it's already been done. People have been asked for help well before you. So it's just simply you stepping up and accepting the help. And if you got no money, you got no car, and you got no woman, and there you are. So whatever. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you next week. It should be a very key week in regards to seasonality. So I got my fingers crossed. Okay. How do you achieve 1,000 pips? How about make 5 trades that go 200 pips each? Easy. It's called a swing trade.